All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that for your entire life, everything you've been taught about negotiation, about persuasion, about getting what you want, is completely backward? We're going to explore a really radical idea today from former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss, that the real key to getting a true agreement isn't chasing yes, it's actually mastering the word no.
You know this feeling, right? The phone rings. It's always right around dinner time. It's a telemarketer. And the second they start their script, you can just feel your body tense up. Your guard goes way up. You feel like you're being hunted. And the reason you feel that way is because you are. So why does it feel so awful?
It's because the whole thing is a carefully designed trap. It's a technique Voss calls yes momentum. They hit you with these questions that are impossible to disagree with. Like, do you believe in helping children? Well, yeah, of course. Who's going to say no to that? But deep down, that every little yes is just one more step down this narrow path where the only way out is to buy what they're selling. And that feeling, that sense of being cornered, is exactly what we're talking about when we say the yes trap. Our gut reaction to it tells us something really important about a major flaw in how we all think about persuasion. Think about it. Our entire culture has conditioned us to see yes as the ultimate prize. It means you won, you succeeded. And no? Man, no feels like a brick wall. It's rejection. It's the end of the line. So naturally, we're trained to avoid it like the plague, both hearing it and saying it. But here's the absolute truth of it. When you push for a yes too fast, you don't build trust, you actually build resentment. You back the other person into a corner. And more often than not, the yes you finally squeeze out of them is totally hollow. It's just a polite way for them to say, "Leave me alone," while they're already planning their escape. So if yes is a trap, where do you go? Well, Chris Voss says you need to run towards the very word we've all been taught to fear. Because for a true master negotiator, no isn't the end of the road. It's a gold mine. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. This one idea basically flips on its head almost every sales book you've ever read. Because in this new world, hearing the word no is not a moment of failure. In fact, it's the start of the real conversation. No is that magic moment when the other person finally lets their guard down and starts to show you what's really going on in their head. It's where the real work can finally get started. And the psychology behind this is just fascinating. See, when you let someone say no, it taps into two of our most primal human needs, the need for safety and the need for control. By saying no, they feel like they've put up a shield. They're in the driver's seat. And it's only when a person feels safe and in control that they can actually relax enough to really listen to what you've got to say. Now, to really understand why no is so powerful, we have to talk about how weak yes can be. It turns out not all yeses mean the same thing, and chasing the wrong kind is, well, it's a recipe for disaster. Voss breaks it down into three types. First, you've got the counterfeit yes. That's the one you get when someone just wants you to shut up and leave. Then there's the confirmation yes. Just a simple response to a basic question. But the real prize, the only one that actually matters, is the commitment yes. That's the one that leads to action. The huge problem? They all sound exactly the same. And Voss learned this lesson in the most brutal way possible. Early in his career, he was volunteering at a suicide hotline. He took a call, and he thought he did an amazing job. He argued the man out of his worst fears, got him to agree to everything. He was feeling pretty proud of himself until his supervisor hit him with this devastating feedback. So why was it the worst call ever? Because Voss made the whole conversation about himself. He was the hero, swooping in to save the day. The caller's yes was completely counterfeit. It was just designed to make the hero feel good so he would go away. The lesson here is huge. Real commitment only happens when the other person feels like they came up with the solution. Okay, so we get the theory, right? Stop hunting for yes, start welcoming no. But how do you actually do that in real life? Let's get into some tools you can use right away. This is a perfect, simple example. When you ask, "Do you have a few minutes?" you're pushing for a yes, and their defenses go up immediately. But when you ask, "Is now a bad time?" you're inviting a no. And a no to that question makes them feel safe. It gives them control. And it also means, yes, I have time. You get the exact same result, just through a much smarter, psychologically sound path. So the next time you hear no, you have to train your brain to hear something different. Don't hear a door slamming shut. Hear an invitation. Hear your counterpart saying, "I'm not there yet," or "You're making me uncomfortable," or even just, "Help me understand more." It's not rejection, it's the start of a collaboration.
We have all been here. You send that super important email, you follow up, and then crickets. Just total silence. It's so frustrating. And the usual just checking in emails, they don't work. So what do you do? Here it is, the magic bullet. This one little sentence is an absolute game changer because it's designed to trigger a no. It taps into this deep psychological need we all have called loss aversion. Nobody wants to admit they've given up on something. So their gut reaction is to fire back, "No, of course not. I've just been swamped." And boom, just like that, you're talking again.
Look, this whole idea of embracing no isn't just some clever party trick. It is a legitimate superpower that gets real, measurable results, and we've got the data to prove it.
Check this out. One of Voss's students, a political fundraiser, decided to put this to the test. He A/B tested his traditional yes pattern script against a new no-oriented script, and the results were just staggering. The script that actually empowered people to say no brought in a 23% higher rate of return. That is not a small bump. That is a massive difference.
And it's not just in fundraising or hostage situations. Think about someone like billionaire Mark Cuban. He literally built his empire on this exact same principle. He understands that every no isn't a failure. It's a piece of data. It's a clarification that gets him one step closer to the real, committed yes that matters. And this might be the most crucial lesson of all. If you're in a negotiation and you've done everything right, you've made it safe, you've invited them to say no, but they still can't or won't say it, you've got a huge red flag. It means they're not on board, they're confused, or they're hiding something. If they can't say no, you don't have a deal. It's time to walk away.
So, the power is in your hands now. By making it okay for people to say no, you give them a sense of safety and control. And what's amazing is that paradoxically, that's what makes them open up to your ideas. You can turn a confrontation into a collaboration. So think about it. Where in your life can you use this? What important conversation will you start by making it safe for the other person to say no?